Well, this is Alberta Morning on CKUA, a community-powered broadcaster heard all across this province on 16 frequencies. So as we head into Earth Day this weekend, it's this Saturday, April 22nd, there is a visionary new made-in-Alberta collection of perspectives, stories, questions, and works of art that I'm thrilled to get a chance to profile next. It's a new book that asks how we might well envision our energy future collectively. It's called Reimagining Fire, the Future of Energy, just out via Alberta's own Derville and Uproot Books. The editor of Reimagining Fire is Eveline Kolijn, and I am thrilled to say that Eveline joins us right now. Good morning, Eveline. Thank you so much for making some time to join us, and welcome.
Yes, good morning, and thanks for having me on your show.
What a stunning piece of work. Congratulations right off the top. It is an extensive and sprawling and fascinating collection. Eveline, you're bringing together literally dozens of authors, poets, scientists, visual artists. What spurred you to dream up this Reimagining Fire project?
Well, I'm actually an artist myself. I'm a printmaker, and it is tradition among printmakers to create so-called print portfolios, which means that all printmakers create an edition, and then we put them all together and we end up with a collection of all prints made in our group. And so usually these are arranged around a theme. And so I sent out a call for submissions to printmakers in Alberta, but also to writers, because what I wanted to do in this project was pair a writer with an artist to think about this theme. I'm also part of a fellow of the Energy Futures Lab, which is sort of a think tank that brings together people from industry, scientists, policymakers, entrepreneurs to also think about the future of energy. And so I had this whole network at my disposal of experts on many different topics. And so once I got my team together of 20 artists and 20 authors, both essayists, novelists, and poets, I connected them with my network of the Energy Futures Lab, and I organized a couple of meetings where people from the lab actually explained and talked about their expertise in order to inform but also inspire my crew. And so in the past year, 40 people have been busily writing and creating on this theme. And this was picked up by Derville Books. So I met with Laureen Scheiba, the publisher of Derville Books, and she said, there's a book in this project. So that's what we are launching now, is the book that's been fresh off the press. But I also have the original artworks that have been created, which are reproduced as images in the book. And so I can show them together.
That is so exciting. What a nexus of fabulous creative ideas, scientific, artistic, literary, and otherwise. And yeah, those original artworks are going to be part of the launch events coming up in May in Calgary, Edmonton, and Lethbridge as well. It's so exciting how you've galvanized so many people together, and interesting for me as well, Eveline, that these are all Albertan folks. What made you want to stick with an Alberta-only collection for Reimagining Fire?
Well, that's actually very intentional, because what I really hope to do with the book is to generate discussion about energy futures in Alberta, because we are this energy province and we think of oil and gas, but things are changing so fast. And actually, Alberta is a province that's very well positioned for all sorts of alternative energies. And it's not only about energies. Actually, many of the writers, they also write or have written beautiful poems about what's all, related to this change we are experiencing, which is, the changing climate and changings in our biodiversity. And so they also think about, okay, what's the role of water and soil? And also, how might our society change because of this? And they also reflect on actually where we come from it's a very honest book, and they really delve into also their fears and uncertainties, but at the same time hope, because there's a lot of things that can be done and that can change for the better. So I thought it's more powerful to have people from Alberta thinking about this. And at the same time, I think we stand for the wider problem. Just because we are so into, oil, it's what the world is as well. So that's what I'm saying in the book. Alberta is sort of a microcosm of the world problem. How are we dealing with this change?
It's amazing the way that all of these different minds and creative spirits come together. And just as one example, I think, Eveline, I'm very struck by chapter 19, How Can the Future Go Really, Really Well? It's an essay written by energy researcher Maggie Hanna, along with visual art by Tara Manyfingers. How does their work and this particular collaboration get to the heart of what Reimagining Fire is all about?
Well, it's a great example, and I thought it was the best note to end the book, because Maggie is actually a fellow of the Energy Futures Lab, and she's a great visionary. And if you want to ask anyone about future possibilities, you have to ask her. And so she lays out this plan of what she envisions is an energy mix for the future, but also how you personally fit into this, what personal choices you can make. And of course, she also talks about a change of mindset that needs to happen. I mean, in a way, we can't keep consuming the way we do. That's not sustainable. And so therefore, a great pairing is with Tara Manyfingers, who is one of the two Indigenous artists in the collection. And she talks, of course, about her own past and her Indigenous worldview, which doesn't align with the Western worldview. And I think the ideal would be that we will really connect these worldviews. We get the strength of each point of view and go forward in that. And that's also true reconciliation, of course, is to, co-create the future.
And that's maybe a great place to question about what's coming up in the near future. And that's Earth Day, of course, coming up this Saturday, April 22nd. How do you hope that the stories and the ideas and the artworks contained in this book will help to inform people as we head into Earth Day 2023 and beyond?
Well, the first step is what I would call awareness and mindfulness. So just in the things you do, realize, what impact does my action have? There's a lot of things you can do, tiny little things. I think that's the first step is awareness and mindfulness.
Well, it certainly has created mindfulness and awareness in my mind and imagination. And I want to say thank you so much, Eveline, for this really incredible piece of work from yourself and your collaborators. And thank you for joining us on the program this morning. It's such a treat to get a chance to talk to you.
Yes. Well, thanks for having me. And pick up a copy of the book. It's very striking with the cover. It's all also sustainably printed with as least ink runs as possible and no plastic laminating on the cover. So it really stands out with a great graphic by one of my artist contributors. So yeah, thank you.
It really is beautiful. I'm holding a copy in my hands right now, and it just feels amazing. The editor of Reimagining Fire is Eveline Kolijn, and the launch events go May 2nd at Calgary's Memorial Park Library, May 9th at Audrey's Books in Edmonton, May 17th in Lethbridge at Analog Books. And you can pick the book up at all of these locations and find out lots more by checking out dervileanduprootbooks.com.